Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome back here to SRW TV, where tonight we bring to you the penultimate round here for the Simrigs V8 Supercars AM Series. This round is brought to you thanks to Warren and Brown Tools, and we are coming to you live from Road Atlanta. I am Nathan ShiBBy Howard, and in the comms box next to me is Thomas Preach Riley. Good evening, mate.
Good evening, ShiBBy. Good evening, everyone. Very keen here to be, very keen to be here, I should say, for the penultimate round of our V8 Supercars Simrigs Amateur Series here from Road Atlanta, part of our, it's a triple header, American triple header, Road America, now Road Atlanta, and then we finish off the season at the Chicago Street Circuit. Very keen to see what this track plays out tonight. I know that it's a whole lot of fun in a supercar, but geez, it's going to be tight racing tonight in this 60-minute race. Yeah,
it definitely is, mate. Road Atlanta is one of those ones where we can see all sorts of good racing with such a different change across that track. We've got some great straights, a lot of curvy sections, and some really tight right-handers thrown in there as well. So I think it's going to be a very tight race tonight.
Absolutely is, mate. I'm very keen to see how the drivers take to this track tonight. The 4.1-ish kilometre track made up of that really fast turn one uphill to a difficult braking zone at turns 3 and 4, and then the run down the hill, which will be an action spot for sure. Those two tight right-handers at the far left of the circuit there on that track map, you can see it's now disappeared as the drivers start heading out for qualifying. That second right-hander is incredibly important that you get drive out of that corner, because you've got a long run up the hill along that back straight down into a very late braking zone before that left-right chicane, and then you've got that final corner, which is absolutely going to be chaos on the first lap. Drivers will be starting around the corner. Very difficult to get cars away when you're pointing in the opposite direction.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, we will grab an on-board through this Racecraft Simulations qualifying session. Massive shout out to John and the team. Congratulations to the 30 people that are going through into our final draw to find out who will win that amazing rig and seat, thanks to Racecraft Simulations. So stay tuned, keep an eye on our socials. The last race of the season, we will be doing a 10-minute AI race, and everybody's name that went into that draw will be getting assigned an AI car, and then it will be a 10-minute race at Sandown to find out who will win that amazing rig. Mate, you were talking about the drivers, and you're wondering how well they're going to go here tonight. Well, mate, let's take the time right now while they're getting out there for their outlap and talk about the top 10 cars leading the way in the championship points right now. I just want to say to all the viewers out there, it is tight, and I mean is it tight at the top end here with only 2 rounds, including tonight, to go.
Absolutely, so unbelievably tight. We've got a 1-point gap between Fishy Motorsports' Matt Whitaker and Autoserve Racing's Jamie Davis. Sitting there in P3 is Liam Tipping. He's about 89 points off Jamie Davis. Up there in P3, Dylan DeBono, after a great race last week out at Road America, he's climbed himself up the order. He's 130 points off Matt Whitaker in first. Peter Van der Kraan sitting in 5th at the moment on 1,090 points. Jace Douglas not too far behind on 1,012. Then we break that 1,000-point barrier down to Darren Crosby, 956. Bit of a gap back to Petar Pavlovich in P8, 890. Mitchell Muller sitting right on his tail though, 883, and Sean Nazaska-Smith, who had a great race last time out in SRW in the Pro-Am race, getting on the podium in the AM class on 818 points. He's been showing some real promise over the last couple of weeks, so he'll be definitely hoping to surge his way up through the field tonight. 60-minute race, lots to play out. Getting some first lap times coming in here now in qualifying. Peter Van der Kraan sitting on top on a 1:19.864. Ty Byrne coming in behind, quickly eclipsed by Dylan DeBono on a 19.9. Matt Whitaker getting up there also on a 19.9. So lap times are starting to fly in here definitely looking probably around the 18s will be, a high 18 will be an exceptionally good lap around this circuit. So we will wait and see and watch with interest as to how the rest of this race unfolds.
They're definitely blessed with great temperature here tonight with an only 26 degrees track temperature. So I'm sure all the drivers out here are going to really be enjoying that instead of some of the 40-degree track temps they have had to endure this season. So I think tonight, a little bit less skating on the rear ends of these cars, a bit more grip, and I think that's going to turn out to be some phenomenal racing ahead. Keeping an eye on all our drivers. Lorne Mackay, sorry. I haven't got that right once this season. Always got to correct myself. Will shoot himself up into P8 with a 1:20.141. Only 15 minutes of qualifying, so times are starting to flow in, but you can see just how close as Van der Kraan goes better again. Really cementing or trying to cement that top pole position early in this session. Now 1:19.864. That is the benchmark. Whitaker, though, had some great laps there. Looks like he's pulled out at the last minute. Had, you have there 2 purple sectors on that lap, so has decided to pull into the pits. Maybe got an off track and just made that lap invalid. So hopefully he can get back out there and shoot another hot one through. Now have Stephen Kennedy. He was on some purples as well, and he's pulled into the pits. Maybe a few 1Xs coming through here. Just while the lads settle in, we see Scotty Rattler Van Loon get himself up into that P5 spot with nearly a 120 flat. 003 on the end there. Let's see if we can pinpoint a driver. We got there.
Jamie Davis.
Jamie Davis. Man, my eyes are getting old. I need. Yeah, there we go. Just coming across the start-finish line now, mate. I'll leave it up to you to talk us through a lap.
Is this Jamie Davis?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes. Sorry, that's my bad. So this is now part of this second sector of the course, running downhill now, braking nice and late, just at the cut of that wall on the left-hand side, getting the car tucked in nicely. The car wants to understeer through that corner, and then it will jump up on the curb here, really progressive on the throttle application in second gear. Get the drive out of the corner now, hit your marks, every shift as important as the last. Letting the V8 sing out. He comes up to this difficult braking zone. You're braking about 150 is probably the tolerance. Getting the car tucked in nicely. Really easily get a 1X on both inside curbs and definitely on the exit. Blind approach over this crest as you come back down into the compression. Get the car tucked in. Full throttle. He comes across the stripe now. Goes to the top on a 19.759. Absolutely stonking lap there. Puts him about a 10th clear of Peter Van der Kraan up the top, and then just manages to catch the car before he loses control.
I feel like that might have been a celebratory. It might have been a celebratory slide there, mate. Riding on board there with Jamie Davis, that looks so smooth. It's always those laps where, in a way, when you're riding on board, it looks slow. But usually if it's slow, it's smooth, and at the end, it is definitely going to be fast. But Dylan De Bono just comes through as Davis is pulling back out, and De Bono goes better. 119.622.
Whitaker's on a lap here. Whitaker's got a purple first sector and greens across the rest of the track. Little twitch as he comes over the crest. Lots of sideways action coming across the line. Does improve up to a 19.735. Just puts himself clear of Jamie Davis. Only just, though.
And only just off the back of De Bono. Look at the time between the top 5 right now. Top 6 even. 0.4 of a second between them. But not much time. It sounds like a lot. And I suppose in a way it is. And Rattler now as well will fire himself into those high 19s. Scooches up into provisional P4 in that Quantum Pecky's performance racing car. Mate, these guys are really starting to push it out here. And these are the AMs. And I tell you what, mate, every week I come out here and I think, man, these guys, like, how are they AMs? Their driving is phenomenal.
Absolutely stellar driving from all these drivers. Scotty Rattler had some great battles last week, both in the AMs and in the Pro-Ams on Sunday nights. And he's really found some confidence now coming into the second half, the last little bit of this season, last couple of rounds.
He's also doing a good job on the V8 Pro-Am night on Sundays as well, Mr. Rattler Van Loon. So good to see a lot of these AMs guys being able to race the Tuesday and the Sunday. Tuesday is great practice for them going into the Pro-Am battles because, of course, they do have the pro drivers out there. And I tell you what, in some cases, we are seeing about a second to a second and a half faster per lap between the pro and the AMs. But I tell you what, we are also seeing a lot of AMs up there battling away for that championship points as well. So if you guys do not tune in for the Sundays, you definitely should. It is one cracking show. That's the word of the night tonight. Cracking.
Donking.
Donking?
Stonk.
Stonk. Need those stonks. Speaking of stonks, if you guys tonight at all find yourself enjoying this broadcast and want to help us keep putting on these amazing shows and running this amazing league, it is just as easy as hitting that like button. And if you want to go one step further, share it with your friends. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribed, because I'm sure we're going to have some more amazing competitions coming up in the future. John Gallen for Pelican Esports Racing, also known as Pacific Esports Racing. Tell you what, these
How long
guys...
until we get a cease and desist from that?
Well, John Gallen, I think, is actually the team owner, and he's dropped in before when he's had a night off, and he actually agreed. He doesn't mind the old Pelican Esports, thanks to Lake's Edge. That's another way.
John, you know what to do. Next week, special livery coming out. You're the Pelican Esports Racing.
Yeah, thanks.
Scrap the Pacific on all your logos. Make it Pelican for one last round.
Pelican Esports Racing, thanks to Lake's Edge. It's just another way we love shouting out all the sponsors on our drivers' cars in this series. Because, of course, we are out here to put on this show for them and for you.
Matt Whitaker starting a lap here. We might try and stay on board with this one if we can. He's got Jamie Davis right in front of him. He's put himself in a position where he can use the draft off Jamie Davis. Gets the car nicely over the curb there at turn 4. Just modulating the throttle as he plunges down the hill. Car gripped up lovely on the exit for him there. Not quite his fastest through the first couple of sectors, but this will be where he can try and find some gains. Gets good rotation through the second of those right-handers. Also, Jamie Davis has just pulled a little bit of a gap. Jamie Davis has got 2 green sectors on this lap alone. Coming across the third intermediate now, 26.9. Not quite his fastest overall.
Still up there in P2, mate, so even if you can't get any quicker, he's right up there at the top of this table. Great spot to be as the championship leader.
Jamie Davis goes to the top, 19.3. Matt Whitaker follows on a 19.5. Super close between these drivers. They're going to try and see if they can get around to start one more lap. It's going to be incredibly tight.
If they
to get around, Jamie Davis is currently the pole sitter. 19.31. Matt Whitaker 19.54. Dylan De Bono still sitting there on that 19.6 that he did early on in the session. Stephen Kennedy up there in 4th at the moment on a lap here. Not looking like any greens
I think
at
we
the
missed
moment.
him jump up into P4, and it looks like his teammate of the M1 Racing squad is actually sitting in behind him in P5. That is such a great spot to be at start race. They are definitely going to be able to work as a team through the next 60 minutes after qualifying, that's for sure. Stephen,
The other important thing...
Sorry, mate.
The other important thing that they get is the ability to start more square on that grid rather than around the corner. Get to a much better starting position to be starting further up the field. That's the benefit of being in that top probably 8 or 9 cars tonight, is the more straight start. So in that second phase where you're really putting your pedal down, you're not lighting up the rear tyres.
Has just gone better. Slotted himself up into provisional P4. So good move from the Angry Birds racing team there. Stephen Banks has joined us as well as Buffu. Thank you guys for joining us tonight and leaving a comment there. I appreciate it. Stephen said, Percival the Pelican needs to lift. He is talking about, my favourite team out there. So they've got a name for their mascot, and it is Percival.
I'm going coming into pits here.
Times are
difficult pit
definitely
entry
slowed
because
down.
it's fully committed, blind over the crest as well. Cowie.
How are we sitting up
Sitting
in
there
P11? Not a bad spot, mate, honestly. Hasn't had the best season. He is the reigning AMS champion in our Pro-Am series. So, not the best season, but is sitting in P16 overall in the championship points. This man is a musician and he's out gigging across Queensland every week. So, I have a funny feeling that may have impacted some of his practice time this season. But I tell you what, mate, calls himself the average sim racer. And
Thanks for average.
Yeah, I think he talks down on himself too much when he says the average sim racer, because I tell you what, mate, he can drive the pants off these V8 supercars.
Absolutely. We just saw Mark Horton for Accelerate Sim Racing jump there up into P8. So gets himself into the top 10. Cowie at the moment doesn't seem to be setting the sectors alight, neither did Jason Douglas. Jason improves. He's going 18th at the moment.
Last two out here for our Racecraft Simulations qualifying session. Cowie will be the final one to come across the line. Not sure if he's looking like he's going to go any better. Can he improve? He won't. He will lock himself in at P12. And that will be the end of the Racecraft Simulations qualifying session here tonight for your penultimate round of the Simrigs V8 Supercars AM series. Who is ready?
Do
we have to?
What was there?
It was there. Yeah, it's too late. It's happened now. I'll just cut that out in post, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we're
of course,
live.
of course.
I can't.
Oh,
Bugger.
damn.
Yeah, there's no cutting that out in post. I forgot we do live shows. Dear, oh dear. Tell you what, Ray Douglas has joined us. Thank you so much for joining us again, Ray. I tell you what, I swear you're here every night of the week, mate. Whether Jace is out there racing or not, you love watching a good race, mate. So great to see you out there again. Great to see all of you joining us. Absolute bunch of legends. Ray says, interesting to see the race pace opposed to the quali pace, boys. Yes, we have seen faster laps in the previous races than we have in qualifying. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tonight. As the grid is up here for the penultimate round, Jamie Davis will take out the Racecraft Simulations pole position and fastest lap. Sitting down in P2, we will be looking at Matt Whitaker for Fishy Motorsports, our championship points leader by 1 point. Dylan DeBono and Peter Vanderkrant will line up in row 2. Stephen Kennedy and Darren Crosby, the M1 Racing squad, in row 3. Scotty Rattler and Mark Horton will line up in row 4. Ty Byrne and Sean Nizaka Schmidt down there in row 5. Simon Haynes and Andrew Cowan will be in row 6. John Gallen and Lorne Mackay. Wow, I do that every time. In row 7. Troy Dooley, Mitchell Muller in row 8. Travis Daly and Jason Douglas, row 9. Troy Sipple, Doug Gowans in row 10. Got out of count. Brett Taylor, Craig Healy in row 11. Scott Weston, Reese Goey in row 12. Peter Pavlovich, Mick Clifton, row 13. Scott Perrins, Greg Leake, row 14. Tyler Sheaf and Joshua King in row 15. Matt Jones and Tyson McAvoy are your race stewards this evening. And Dan Merco, did he get a? He didn't get a lap in during that qualifying session, so be interesting to see if he is actually out there on the grid when it lines up, or if he's starting from pole position. So the boys are getting ready to grid up. He's getting ready, set to go this evening. Bless you.
Oh, I'm so sorry I couldn't get to my mic button quick enough.
It's all right, mate.
Oh, it happens sometimes.
And there it is, Jamie Davis from the AutoServe Sim Racing team taking out the Racecraft Simulations pole position here tonight.
Is that a new livery?
I don't think it is. There might be some slight changes. Definitely same colours. Maybe a couple of new sponsors on there. Definitely making a name for themselves, the AutoServe team, recently, so...
Yeah, definitely. It looks like there's some more action going on the side of the car. I thought from when I first saw it, it was just a bit more flat. I could be wrong, but geez, he's in a form. He's in some great form at the moment. To be starting in front of his championship rival in Matt Whitaker. Geez, this is giving me 2021 Abu Dhabi vibes. I went there. Well, as we get ready for a green flag here. Waiting for the 5 lights, ready to go. And it's a good start from Dylan DeBono off of row 2. Matt Whitaker does not get away well at all. Jamie Davis is going to take the lead down into turn 1.
Oh, there's a car off behind already.
Looks like it's Mark Horton.
We're going to stay on board with the battle as DeBono got just a launch of a start. Whitaker's already dropped 5 spots down into P7. Not the start he would want as they start flowing through the first corners. Keeping it nice and clean.
Single file from everyone there.
Already gapped out a bit. Interesting to see. DeBono, though. There's Whitaker back in P7. Andrew Cowan up the inside. Oh, I tell you what. Oh, a bit more bumping and rubbing. There was a few checkups with that. They've done all extremely well to stay out of that. Not sure how Whitaker held on, but he did. And now Cowan will go side to side with Dooley. Douglas in behind them as well with Daly. This is going to be one great battle here tonight. DeBono already making the move on Davis. Getting it tucked in there. What a great move. Now Davis being attacked by Vanderkran.
Davis does well to tuck himself back in the line there. Don't want to get held out to dry around the last corner. He's going to show the nose down into the turn 1. Could certainly send the car up there just as you get to the apex. If you get yourself up alongside far enough, and then it's really just single file for you as you start to run down the hill. Your next overtaking opportunity really is the first of those right-handers at the backside of the circuit.
I think, mate, have they all dropped off the pace? Or am I hearing something?
Safety car has been called.
Yep, we do have a safety car. Thought that I could hear the change of an acceleration play through those corners. Or something might have happened. Might have been to do with that car that came off at the start. But right now, DeBono with a great start up 2 spots into P1. Vanderkran as well got a great start up 2 spots. Jamie Davis dropping 2. I'll tell you what, Whitaker, though, definitely not going to be happy as we see an Accelerate Sim Racing car.
That's Mark Horton who was involved in that first lap incident down at turn 1. Looks like the left front might be pointing the wrong, a little bit to the left.
Oh, and he's missing a bonnet as well. Let's get a quick drone shot. Yep, definitely a lot of damage on that one, mate. Let's see if we can pinpoint the exact moment that it's happened. As we jump on board with an SRW TV action replay. We are on board with Horton here. Got a great start.
In the 009.
And Whitaker in front of him didn't get the best start, so he has moved over. Oh, what has happened there? Tried to get around Whitaker.
Oh, that's a big hit into that concrete wall.
He got a great start and has just tried to split the difference here. You can see M1 racing car. He moves over to get around Whitaker. Oh, mate, I'm going to have to leave that up to race control. It is way too close to call. At this point, I can't see any fault from either driver. We'll wait until race control gives us their call, but that is definitely unfortunate for Mark Horton of the Accelerate Sim Racing team, as he got a great start there.
It started really strong. Had himself up there in P8 at the start. He got a really nice jump off the line, and then just coming up alongside Matt Whitaker. Maybe the gap between the cars closed, and one car, of course, was going to come off worse for wear in that sort of situation when you've got a car who didn't quite get the start. Whitaker down in 7th at the moment, down 5 spots. Jamie Davis lost those spots at the start. Wonder if we can get a replay whilst we've still got some safety car time here to see exactly what happened. How did Dylan get that move done? It looked like it was down into the chicane. As we... Yeah, I'll be honest, I can't quite see it's doing SDK things, but...
Just on board with Dylan DeBono now off the start. It happened in the first couple of corners. You can already see he's being super aggressive over the back of Jamie Davis. DeBono must feel very comfortable on these cold tyres. Really pushing him hard. Just not letting Davis get away anywhere here at all. Oh, Davis runs a bit wide. DeBono manages to close the gap even more. Will shoot out down the inside. Thought that's where the move was going to be made. DeBono tucks back
in the draft. Yep, gets through there nicely. Through the second of those right-handers. Gets really good exit off the corner. And now it's just a slipstream game. Very patient about when to jump out. Feints to the right, then goes left. Heavy on the brakes.
Oh, what a move
tucks the car in.
there.
Jamie Davis tries to do the switch back around the outside. It's very hard to get a move done around the outside there. That's where Jamie Davis gets placed out of sync. And then Vanderkrant comes through on the inside of that last corner.
Sneak through there as well. I think Vanderkrant there was following DeBono's lead. DeBono got a great shoot through the first section of those corners there and tucked himself in really nicely down onto that inside right lane and just had such a good flow through that Vanderkrant was right in behind him by the time he came through into that right-hand turn. So got himself in a great spot and really put Davis off. We've had Greg Barber not on our stewards here tonight, but has dropped in to let us know unfortunate iRacing physics is what he is putting that down to. And yes, we have had a safety car, mate, because Horton's car was absolutely wrecked. Oh, replay? Mate, you need to join the broadcast from the beginning. We were going back and having a look at some of the phenomenal overtakes that we saw on the first lap, mate. So get in here or be square. You're gonna miss all the interesting stuff. Safety car is away.
You know what? We should get Barbs in here as our
he joined us on Sunday
technical advisor. Give us the Mark Larkham experience.
He joined us Sunday night, which was really good because I'm still, if you guys can't hear, bit cloggy. Been struggling with the flu at the moment. Family is full of it. It's great. But so we had Greg Barber join us. Matt Jones is in the pits now. Safety car has released the field to DeBono. And here we go again. What a snake. Let's get on board on the back of the Velocity Sim Labs car. Let's see what DeBono does here.
Gonna hold him for as long as he can.
And he's away under the Fox Factory flag bridge there. And he is off and racing again. Lap 5 here tonight of the penultimate round. We see Whittaker making moves, just showing the nose to Crosby there. Whittaker must have got a great start. Definitely wanting to start to put the pressure on. Sean Smith as well putting the pressure on. Oh, there's a bit of a bump there, and the Pacific Esports car is around. Hardcore, I'm putting that down to netcode at that point from what I saw, but again, unfortunate racing there. I mean, unfortunate incident.
Where he's to go, he's got a drive-through penalty for nose to rear contact on lap 1. Left to 2 of the pit lane. And then, yeah, we saw it happen with Sean Smith and who was there? Simon Haynes and John Gallen involved in that carnage at the top side of the circuit.
Did you say Reese to go? He got a drive through.
Yes, he did. Car 51.
I wonder what's happened then. Caused
That seemed to be something on lap 1, according to race control.
Maybe
we
during the
see
safety
Ty
car.
Byrne here going with Greg Leake. Under brakes, who's got the best performance on that left foot. Ty Byrne managed to sweep around the outside.
Oh, Smith again battling it out with another driver. Now here on the back of Dooley Performance Sim racing car, number 333. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-way battle here. Dooley down through to Grandpa Gowans, all in a really nice line. Bono now just setting the fastest lap of this session with a 120.31. Oh, Pavlovich, Craig Healy, GMK Logistics can't hold Pavlovich back. Pavlovich will get that move done. Makes it look too easy. Now he's just got to keep Craig Healy at bay.
Yeah, Pavlovich went defensive there, coming through the second of coming to the first of those right-handers. Kept the car sitting middle of the track, trying to get himself an advantage coming out of the corner. Craig Healy just not quite close enough to capitalise with some slipstream. As we look further back in the pack, it's Tyler Sheaf, Mark Horton, and Scott Weston. Greg Leake in behind as well.
Weston starting to put the pressure. Another GMK Logistics car wanting to work his way back up through the field. Tyler Sheaf up 6 spots. Scott Perrins up 6 spots. But Ty Byrne wants to go another.
Bono went faster again on that lap, 120.05.
Ty Byrne down 12 spots from qualifying. So he's definitely trying to fight his way back up as we jump back up towards the front. As the Quantum's Pecky Performance Racing team with Scotty Rattler Van Loon is battling away with the M1 Racing team, Darren Crosby, and right behind is Fishy Motorsports driver Matt Whittaker. David Kirby joins us on Facebook. Thank you for joining us, mate. He says, let's go, Matt. Good to see you all out there cheering on your teams. Oh, Darren Crosby. Not quite close enough to make that move work, but definitely wanted to show his nose just to let Rattler Van Loon know he is right in behind him. We can see Whittaker as well, just not getting off the back. Jace Douglas, Dynamic Sim Sports driver, card number 88, hunting the back of that purple machine of Cowie, the Performance Sim Racing. These two know how to put on a fantastic battle. I'm expecting them to keep this up for most of the night.
You can just see how the cars are so committed on the run down the hill. They're just pushing a little bit away from that right-hander curb in the middle part of the S's there. Drive-through penalty for car 243, Simon Haynes, for not holding brakes after contact. It's one of those rules that drivers will get drilled into them nice and early in their experience. A car that's on its brakes is much more predictable than a car that's got a boot full of throttle. So it's more about safety more than anything for the other drivers involved, not taking other drivers out.
On Mackay. Oh my lord, I'm going to drill that in my head. Down the outside of Sipple. Did have some great pace through there. Gonna have to pull it back in. But Mr. Guns Out, Grandpa Gowans, has made some great pace onto the back of them now. It'll be interesting to see what he can do here. He's got a really good run. Oh, was that Lorne or Doug that just got the lock-up? Must have been Lorne as Doug takes for the outside line. That is going to bring him into the inside line. Down he goes as we see Brett Taylor also trying to get through there. Lorne's actually dropped right back. That has brought two more cars onto the back of him now. Pavlovich and Taylor. Great to see these battles going on all across the field. Up the front, though, De Bono pushing out to his 0.67 gap back to Vanderkrant. But look at Jamie Davis. Jamie Davis is starting to make his way back through. Just needs to get this move done on Vanderkrant. Side by side into the corner. Sweeps it in beautifully. And Vanderkrant is going to be left chasing away now. Jamie Davis needs to focus forwards and try and get that time back to De Bono as he's starting to drive away further back. We can see Crosby starting to show the nose on Rattler. And Whittaker still sitting in the back there. Wondering if this is a maybe a bit of a play here for Whittaker. Just biding his time a little bit, maybe seeing what the pit stop strategy is going to be, saving some tyres, saving some fuel. What's your thoughts, mate?
These three have dropped off the back of Stephen Kennedy. And now at just under 2.5 seconds. So if I'm Matt Whittaker now, I'm thinking, right, those top four have started to gap. I'm not in the fight with them at the moment. So I need to play myself in with strategy. As we see Cowie go defensive, locks the rears, slides off the corner. That lets Jace Douglas through, and now Cowie will be a little bit of a sitting duck to his teammate. And Troy Dooley coming up fast behind him. But that'll release Douglas ahead to try and catch up to Matt Whittaker. That's what I was saying. If I'm Matt Whittaker, I'm thinking, how best can I use strategy to play myself into this? Do I extend my stint somewhat, try and see if I can't get to the end, try and extend this stint out by maybe a lap, maybe 2 laps? Does that come back to help me at the end of the race? A 60-minute race, we're sort of expecting it to be not quite an even 2-stop race. See Whittaker now trying to go to the outside of Crosby. Fortunately, just got himself out of position. He's got a good run down the hill though. Lots of grip in that fishy car, lots of front end grip.
Definitely looking smooth, and could be some strategics at play here. Or is someone going to tell us that his throttle's stuck at 92% again? Sean Smith down the inside of Troy Dooley, the 333. They're going to stick it side by side though. The move isn't finished yet. Can Dooley...
Douglas might have made an issue made an error in the S's, because Cowie's right back up on the back of him as we see Sean Smith here trying to look for a move on Dooley. Trying to go around the outside is not easy. He's going to try and park it. Oh, look at that. He's made that look a lot easier than I thought. He's just parked it on the outside of Dooley through the first part of the chicane. That's invited Travis Daly into this battle as well.
Oh, Smith now. Oh, Douglas made a huge mistake, or he's got a slowdown. He fell right back to this battle pack. Oh, no, is he blinking? Might be having connection issues. That is not what we want to see. That could be a reason why he's dropped off the back of Cowie. Interesting to find out. That has put Smith right on the back of him now. Dooley, Daly, Muller. We are starting to get a big train with Troy Sipple for the Quantum Peckies performance team. Just in off the back of them as well. Further back down the field, GMK logistics driver Scott Weston in the 052 car. Battling it out with Mick Clifton, the Accelerate Sim Sports team. 351 Mustang.
Yeah, good slow down there, confirmed by race control for Jason Douglas. That's exactly why he fell back into the clutches of Cowan.
Law now. And Gowans. Lawn's going to get that move tucked in front of Gowans. Great move there from Lawn. Starting to build himself back up. Still down one spot from off where he was in qualifying in P14. But trying to fight his way back. If you have a look at that timing tower, there is battles all over the field this evening. And this is why our amateurs are becoming the premier V8 Supercars Racing League. They already are. Oh, Gowans
up the inside.
And that's going to invite Ty in. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Three-way battle here tonight. Not going to be the first time either. Ty tucks that in. Uses all that track. Lawn gave a perfect amount of space there. But unfortunately, he is going to drop that position from Grandpa Gowans and Ty Byrne. We need to get back up the front, mate. Whitaker starting to look at making moves. Already moving down the inside of Crosby. Where's he going to go here?
Crosby's going to try and hold it on the inside. Goes in very deep, makes contact with Scotty Rattler. That's going to bring Whitaker up the inside of Rattler. Rattler has to dab the brakes to get himself through the corner. He still holds it around the outside. Gets good run off the corner. Whitaker on the inside. Has to slow the car down a lot more. And Rattler will get all the way around the outside and hold that position.
So maybe it was a bit of strat play there. Whitaker just waiting for Crosby and Van Loon to make a mistake. And with how close they are racing, mistakes can be made, and Whitaker has committed to that. Managed to get through unscathed, so one more position up for him. But Darren Crosby is not slowing down, and he's going to keep that pressure on the back of Whitaker. "21 minutes in, mate. I think we will be seeing pit stop strategies coming through within the next 1 or 2 laps. Right on board with the M1 Racing driver right now, Darren Crosby. Darren Crosby in P7 in the championship points table right now. All these points. Oh, I can see Whitaker starting to squirrel around on those rear tyres as he puts the pressure on Rattler. Can he make a move down into turn 1? Very different driving lines here. Whitaker keeping it really tight. See that Pecky's car getting a bit loose on the rear end. 2 wheels through there. Rattler definitely got a better run through there. Looks like he's a bit quicker than Matt through here.
Maybe running a little bit more wing, able to take a little bit more corner speed through, using the downforce of the car to get the car planted through that sector.
Drop a bit further back. Peter Pav was right on the back of Warren Mackay then. This drops off a little bit more. As following him through. A bit further back, GMK Logistics, Craig Healy. Looked like he was going to put it down the inside of Taylor. Thought the better of it. It falls back in line. We do have a good old-fashioned V8 Supercars race here tonight. Smith now, again, being involved with plenty of battles, having to defend from Dooley, Daly, Muller and Sipple. This is going to get interesting. Muller now. Sipple actually just squeezed his way through past Muller. Sipple will move up into P13, up 6 spots off his qualifying position. Crosby on the back of Whittaker.
Now, DeBono, Davis and Vanderkrant have all sort of opened up a little bit of a gap. It's now sitting at Davis back about 1.4 seconds at the most behind DeBono now. So some gaps are opening up throughout the field. Maybe DeBono's put his pedal down. Maybe he's looking for a pit stop this lap. Definitely staying right, not quite all the way. Davis kept moving it through. He has a 351 there of Mick Clifton with a lot of damage to that right front of that Mustang.
He's just had an off track just recently. We need to get back on board with Whittaker. Down, looking to get the nose down on Van Loon. Just tucking it back in. David Kirby have said the brains trust will be in his ears, and that is talking about the fishy driver, that is Matt Whittaker. We are on board with right now your championship points leader by 1 point. Oh! Mick Clifton! Off into the wall there, nearly caused a bit of chaos with the front 6 here. Kennedy still pushing the back of Vanderkrant. These guys have had a great drive so far, keeping it super clean. Is Kennedy feeling this is where his time to make this move before pit stops come in? It is. He gets in there really nicely. Beautiful work on the brakes.
Liquor straps it on the exit.
The job is done.
Still no pit stops yet.
Oh my gosh.
Now, the longer this goes on, the tighter it looks on a one-stop strategy. Nick Clifton just doing his best at the moment to keep himself out of the way of all the cars. He's done well. We get back to pit lane here.
All right, Van Loon is in. First of the pit stops to start coming through.
Ty Burns gone in as well.
See how long Rattler is in there for. That'll give us an idea of how long people do need to be in there. Already 40 seconds through. Whittaker has got that move done on Crosby.
Crosby's definitely had a bit of a rub with someone.
Crosby gonna get his move done. Super close racing there.
Matt Whittaker peels into the pits. Championship leader.
Looking about a 50-second pit lane. So that is the whole run from entry to service to exit. Muller now on the back of Sipple, on the back of Dooley. Interesting to see if DeBono comes in this lap, or do you think he's got one more? What happened to Dooley? Off into the dirt. And that will leave Sipple and Muller off to battle it on their own. Dooley's still going to fall more as Pavlovich and Grandpa Gowans wind up that, yep. $50 seconds in the pits for Whittaker. Whittaker's back out now. He's come out in P23. Don't forget, everybody else up in front is still yet to pit as we get back on board with Sean Smith and Jason Douglas. These two were not shy of the battles throughout this first half of the race. And they're going to continue going. Jace Douglas, phenomenal drive tonight, up 11 spots if he gets this move done on Smith. And he will. Travis Daly is in the back there as well, up 8 spots, trying to get a move done on Smith as well. Daly is side by side. Just going to fall back on the brakes a bit later. Tucks it in. They're going to go side by side again. Daly just leading the way through the corner. Will get that move done on Smith. Smith starting to fall back through the field now. Was up 4 spots. Now he's lost 3 and he's only up 1 spot now. Bono, still no sign of pitting. We'll have...
Gotta be in this lap, you'd think.
I need to check. Yeah, no stops. There we have it. The top 17 have not made a stop yet.
Not in this lap either. So even being at the front, with no real assistance from the draft or anything like that to help with fuel save. It's doing very well. Carl's very aggressive under brakes into turn 1. Runs a much tighter line, gets right across the blue pit lane exit cone and flies it over the curb. On the run down the hill to see how much of the curb he can take. Parks it up on the curbs all the way through. Brakes on the curb as well for this left-hander.
Feel like this could be De Bono's first and last season here in the AMS. I feel like from what we've seen, he could definitely be up there in those pros on the Sunday night. Joined the series late. Has been in those podiums pretty much every single race. And in most cases sitting in first place. Might see a promotion to pro for next season, our first season of 2024. Travis Daly having a phenomenal drive for the PSR team. Not running into each other this week. Up 11 spots. De Bono's now in the pits. Davis is going to follow. What's Kennedy going to do? Kennedy's in. Vanderkran's in. Cowan is next.
Definitely ran it to the end of the fuel load.
Cowie's in.
Cowie peels in.
Let's see if the whole top field are going to flow through into the pits.
Sean Smith went in there with a huge rate of speed. We're just waiting to see where these two, Scotty Rattler and Matt Whittaker, come out. There's De Bono and Jamie Davis have come out well ahead of Kennedy, Vanderkran, Rattler and Whittaker. Probably about the same distance between these top two. Still waiting on 3 drivers to stop in this race. In Sipple, guns out, Grandpa Gowans. Scott Weston. So Scott Weston's going around again though. Snipple and Gowans are in the pits. Scott Weston's going to go one more lap again. He's done quite well to get his fuel range this far. According to the numbers I've got on my screen, Dylan DeBono is still sitting at the top with a 0x at the moment. Next with a 0x is Darren Crosby. So Whittaker has managed to get past Scotty Rattler Van Loon for 6th place at the moment. Pavlovich in a battle with Troy Sipple in front. Pavlovich, the great run out of the S's. Sipple goes defensive, just closes the door. Pavlovich was able to carry a little bit of throttle percentage over that curve and get himself through the corner. Scott Weston now peeling into the pit lane. Will release DeBono and Davis up at the front. That gap between DeBono and Davis is only 3 seconds. Pavlovich trying to make a move. Can't quite get it done. We'll try and look for a bit of a move on the switchback, try and get a good run. So they climb up the hill and back down it under the Fox Factory Bridge through the final corner. Pavlovich has some great speed. Percival egging him on.
Got a good drive here tonight, Pavlovich. Up 10 spots from qualifying. Wanting to take another one. Qatar sitting in P8. And our overall championship points. Definitely wanting to squeeze some more points out here in the penultimate round. See DeBono really starting to push away, 3.4 seconds back to Jamie Davis. Top three have managed to really spread the gap here as we see Sean Smith again. The Wildfire Racing getting up amongst these battles. Travis Daly, the PSR car, getting put on the defensive here. It's also going to bring Muller in. Right on board of the bonnet of Mitchell Muller. Performance Sim Racing chasing the tail of Sean Smith. Wildfire Racing, and then Travis Daly, another PSR driver. So Smith is in that PSR sandwich right now.
Bear with me, ShiBBy. I'm going to crack some numbers and see where we're sitting on the championship at the moment.
Oh, numbers! I think Muller's starting to blink a bit. We're going to have to change cameras. There, we're going to jump back up as we have a look at Darren Crosby, the M1 Racing Mustang, battling it out with Van Loon and the Quantum Specky's Performance. Crosby gets in there hot, manages to pull that car up. Looked like he went sideways through there on the brakes, and Rattler Van Loon lighting the tyres up over the crest there as well. These two are having an absolute blast out there. Probably not the greatest for their tyres, but man, did that look good.
Definitely did. I think we might have missed it in the qualifying session, but we are missing any JTIT race on Auscars out there.
Oh, we are too.
There are none, including the driver sitting in P3 in the championship in Liam Tipping.
No tipping tonight. That's interesting. Anyone with the goss out there that is in the community and know why we can't see any of our GTIT Race on Oz drivers out here tonight, let us know if you know what's going on.
But based on the current finishing positions, they were to stay where they are right now, Jamie Davis would be get a 12-point swing, so it'll be 11 points. Jamie Davis will take the lead of the championship. Dylan DeBono will jump up to third. Still be a mathematical chance should everything go wrong in the final race, but he'll need both of the drivers ahead of him to have absolute mares. That's in Whitaker and Davis to stand a chance at this championship, but he will put himself into third based on the results here. Peter Vanderkram will also jump up into fourth as a result. So it is a fairly considerable margin that Jamie Davis will have. It's got Stephen Kennedy bearing down on him though.
We are in the final 20 minutes here tonight. I'd like to take this moment that if you guys have enjoyed any of this broadcast tonight, please let us know by hitting that like button. It does go a super long way to helping us continue put on this amazing league and this broadcast. It also shows your drivers that you are out there cheering them on. As we see Sipple still in that battle with Pavlovich. Things are starting to quieten down a little bit. It's definitely been a crazy 40 minutes of battles all across the field. Pit stop strategies can either break the field apart or bring everybody back together. I'm expecting in the next 10 minutes we might see a few more cars on top of each other. Riding on the bonnet of Troy Sipple here for Quantum Pecky's Performance, car number 17. Just chasing the back of Petar Pavlovich. Looks like Ty Byrne is now closing the gap on Andrew Cowan. Ty Byrne sitting in P9 where he qualified. Really starting to put that pressure on your average sim racer, Mr. Andrew Cowan. See that draft assistance. Byrne really starting to close that gap. Tries to show the nose. Not close enough yet. It's a good run through there. Really closes the gap. Going to get a phenomenal run through. Side by side with Cowie. And tucks it in at the last minute. Will Cowie keep that run through this corner though? He's going to have a lot of draft assistance. Is it going to be enough? It's not. Cowie's going to have to pull that back in. He's still going to sit on the back, though. He's not far off. He's definitely not going to let this spot get away. As we move back up to the front, we see Stephen Kennedy of the M1 Racing team starting to close that gap on Jamie Davis for the AutoServe Sim Sports team.
Dylan Bono lost about a second of time there within the last lap or so. That's invited Peter Vanderkram to go for a move on Stephen Kennedy down the inside. Going to get himself right to the rear wheel of that AutoServe car. Can't quite get through. It's going to invite Matt Whitaker to try and get a run on Stephen Kennedy, and that's what he does. Gets himself through nicely on the exit of the chicane.
Read that beautifully there, Whittaker. Saw
that is huge in this championship fight.
Saw a slight mistake there
for Whittaker.
Made the move stick. Good evening, Sneaky Rabbit. I appreciate you dropping in every night, mate. Is there a Tim out there for you to support tonight? There is no Tim. The JTIT team isn't out there. Wow, there's a late run of pit stops coming through. Daly, Muller, Dooley, and Weston. Oh no, a couple of people. Yeah, a few late runs here for pit stops. Interesting in the last 7 minutes of a race to see pit stops coming through.
Last 17 minutes.
Oh, 17. Sorry, I can't count either. Blame the flu.
So that spot that Matt Whittaker made up then on that last lap coming out of the chicane is worth 4 points. So that reduces the swing to 8 points.
Whoa, we've got a safety car. We have a safety car. We have a safety car. Repeat, we have a promo department safety car out on track. This is interesting. Just over 15 minutes left to go. And this is going to drop that entire field of 30 drivers back on top of each other.
Matt Whittaker is coming in the pit lane.
What has happened to call a safety car?
I've got Josh King stopped on circuit.
Josh King in the auto serve is around. Can see him sitting there. Let's see if we can dig up the info of what's happened as we jump to an SRW replay.
Looks like he's coming through the bottom of the S's. Yeah, he's just lost it on the exit. So he comes up out of the S's. The car is sideways over the bumps, gets a little bit of gravel and spins, tries to catch it. That's a big shunt into the wall.
I think he may have been having connection issues there as well as he sort of disappeared off screen. As is it esports racing. Definitely looks to have a bit of damage on that car though. Stuck there, so has called for that safety car. This is going to be a 10-minute sprint here tonight. This is your Simrigs V8 Supercars Amateur Series here for the penultimate round at Road Atlanta. Ray Douglas says, come on, Jace, let's do a Van Gisborne after the safety of car. Safety of car. That's right. Thank you so much to the promo department. Throwing all your money at our safety car. Series in and series out.
I'm so sorry about my sneezing.
It sounds like you're the one with the flu and not me. Although I've hit my mute button about 10 times. I've had to mute myself probably 10, 15 times while I cough up a lung. My favourite songs by Frenzal Rom called I Miss My Lung. Solid song showing my age there.
Yes, definitely. Now, the pit stop for Matt Whittaker dropped him down to 10th.
Yeah, but everybody's going to be on top of each other. We know Whittaker has the speed and the skill.
And fresh rubber.
Yeah, and fresh rubber. And Patar and Smith have been battling it out non-stop over the past, 4 or 5 laps. 32 laps in. And when they pit around, what was it? I can probably tell you that. Let's have a look at the pit laps. Right, so we can have a look there. So Whittaker, lap 30, Pavlovich and Smith, lap 21. So 9 laps fresher rubber. So this is going to be very interesting. Whittaker has,
also,
and Rattler as well, right behind him. Oh,
Rattler Tyburn also stopped.
Yep. Rattler's right behind Whitaker. And that, two guys on fresh tyres. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be an 11-minute sprint. The whole 30 cars are on top of each other now for our final minutes of our penultimate round. It is anybody's ball game. Just like to remind you again, if you are enjoying this broadcast at any point tonight, please let us know by hitting that like button. Promo car, safety car is away. Once he enters the pits, a safety car sign will be moving off your screen. Matt Jones, safety car driver, is in the pits now. The field has been given to De Bono. Here comes the final 10 minutes. The whole field is on top of each other. 30 cars lined up to battle it out to find out who will be the penultimate round winner. Jamie Davis sniffing right on the back at De Bono. De Bono is now away, got a great jump. Let's see what the field can do behind them. Whitaker already trying to look for a move on Pavlovich. Lots of cars already trying to show the nose and get a move done. Flying through these corners. De Bono got a great run. Whitaker's already passed Pavlovich. So he is one more step up. Ty Byrne also getting past Brett Taylor on that restart. Cowan on the back of Crosby. Bono not being able to get away from Davis. Davis lining up those rears. We are going to have a train effect here.
You can see him gaining now. Davis goes to the inside. He's going to try and go to the outside. Get a move done into the chicane. De Bono will fight it all the way into the corner. Must have been some panel rubbing. Davis gets through. Peter van der Kraan also gets past Dylan De Bono.
And here come the M1 racing team of Crosby and Kennedy as well. They want to sniff. So many points to be gained or lost here tonight, being the penultimate round. So many drivers in battles in that top 10. Andrew Cowan being one of them, wanting to get himself up into that top 10, just sitting out of it in the championship points. Jace Douglas, the young gun for Dynamic Sim Sports, right on the back of Cowan. This is going to be a train to the end. Kennedy down the inside of De Bono. Gets a move done.
Switch back now though. Trying to get it on the exit. Kennedy's going to try and hold him out. Side draft. Kennedy tucks back in. Cowie's going to look for the lunge. Can't quite get the move done. It's going to invite Jace Douglas to switch back on him. Coming off the corner, Cowie lights up the rear tyres. And he's hit that wall.
Avoided all contact with other drivers. That's given everyone one more spot up, including Matt Whitaker. He needs to start making moves. Needs to get around Smith. Oh, lights up the rears. Fresh rubbers overdriving the car.
Just grabbed too much of the curb on the inside, unsettled the car, had it too long up on two wheels.
Pavlovich now making use of that small mistake from Whittaker. Up 16 spots. Really in a good spot to nab himself a lot of points here tonight. Especially sitting in P8. He's going to want those in the championship points.
Being pushed. There's bump drafting going on between these drivers. Whittaker can brake so much later into the chicane with that fresh rubber. Davis has opened up that gap to a second over Van der Kraan. De Bono's coming back at him now, though.
See here a bit further back, tight. Byrne looking to try and get a move done. The Quantum Pecky's performance car. Ty and Rattler have definitely been involved with a lot of solid battles here tonight. We are...
Bono on that. Bono on that last lap did the fastest lap of the race. A 1 minute 20.01. Right under the rear wing now. That Angry Birds car. Gonna hold him real tight to the outside of the course. Does get that move done under brakes. Able to pull it up nicely. Scott Weston looking for a move on John Gallen. Into the first right-hander, holds it around the outside. Then locks up, runs wide onto the marbles. It's going to invite Mitch Muller on the outside.
Oh, Weston trying to look for the move down the inside of Gallen. Tucks it in. Muller's going to stay on the back of him. Healy is now up into this battle as well. GMK battling it out. A bit further back in the pack. Dooley on the back of Brett Taylor. That green-eyed monster for the Valve Motorsport, as we see a mistake from Lorne. Off track, will lose a spot to Daly. Daly moves up another position. Final 4 minutes here tonight. This is Premier V8 Supercars AM racing here in Australia and New Zealand. You've seen it tonight. You've seen it this whole series. And we are going to go into the championship round with a nail-biter of points between the top 5. Sean Smith, Matt Whittaker now. Smith down the inside, locks it up. Keeps it on track somehow. Rejoins. Whittaker's going to get the run, though. Will move up into P7. But still 2.8 seconds off the back of Douglas. He now just needs to hold this spot in P7. Pavlovich going to have a sniff at Smith. That slide has really hurt Smith's tyres. Pavlovich.
That was, I have to say, that was an unbelievable bit of car control from Sean Smith. Had the rears locked, got it sliding onto the grass, able to catch the car, recover it, get himself back moving again without making contact with Whittaker. Whittaker had the peace of mind to just open up the steering, let Sean Smith have his moment.
Great driver awareness from all drivers within that short period of time there. From Whittaker, Smith, Pavlovich and Byrne. See it now, Pavlovich trying to make use of Smith's burnt out tyres. Great drive this evening. Up 17 spots if he can get this move done. Can he secure himself a P8 spot? Smith's not going to make it easy. Ty Byrne getting himself in on the back of this battle as well. The Bono starting to close the gap on Davis, down to 0.7 of a second. Is it going to be enough though? Vanderkran on the back of De Bono as well, 0.3, 0.4 of a second. Riding on the bonnet here of Ty Byrne, the M1 racing team, hunting the back of Pavlovich.
I wonder if Davis has either had a slowdown or he's low on fuel. Because in the time since you spoke about him finally getting into within a second.
Jump on board. Let's listen to his throttle control. Let's hear if there's any clutching. See if there is any fuel saving. Bono now within 0.2 of a second. Really closing that gap. Can't hear any fuel saving yet. Definitely looks like he's not getting onto the power as hard as De Bono out of these corners though. Rick Vigor joins us and says, what great racing. You're right, mate. And we'll say it again, this is your premier V8 Supercars Amateur Series here in Australia and New Zealand.
The final lap.
It is white flag. Barney is out. It is down to De Bono and Davis. The see who will take out the penultimate round. What can De Bono do?
Got to sit him behind here, try and use the draft. Lights up the rear tyres. It's going to give Jamie Davis that little bit of margin. De Bono with the closing speed now under the draft. Kennedy's got past Vanderkran. We've jumped away from the lead battle. De Bono going to try and look for the move around the outside. Davis goes in super deep. De Bono goes deep as well, too deep, and locks up. And that will have a slowdown impact, surely. But it will be Jamie Davis who comes across the line sideways to take the win and the championship lead heading into the final round. Matt Whitaker comes home in P5, manages to get past a whole bunch of drivers in the end. It's Byrne over Pavlovich, Rattler and Nazazka, all within a second of each other. Troy Sipple comes home in 10th. Dougie Gowan's great performance to get himself into 11th. John Gallen in 12th. Scott Weston, Darren Crosby down in 14th position. I think there might have been something that happened and we didn't see throughout those couple of spots there on that final lap, because Crosby was right up there with Kennedy.
Mate, there was battles between so many different cars across that finish line within hundredths of a second as they passed.
Is there any chance we can get a replay of what happened to Crosby in that last 30 seconds?
Let me work my magic, mate. Let me see what I can find.
Because Crosby finishing 14th after what looked like he could have been up there.
Wait, hang on. Yeah, right. He was up there. What has happened to Crosby?
Here we go. So Vanderkran's just lost it on the exit. And unfortunately, he's got involved with Darren Crosby in the end.
Rick Vigor said, what happened to Pete, mate? Pete has driven a phenomenal race here tonight. Up 18 spots off qualifying.
Was he talking about Petar Pavlovich or Pete Vanderkran?
Vanderkran, yeah, that's true. He could have beat.
Looks like he just lit up the rear tyres and unfortunately collected Darren Crosby in the end. You can see the damage on the Angry Birds racing car.
Let's go back a little bit. Quickly grab this, and then we'll jump and have a look.
So what happened with De Bono in front, just locked the rears off track. Van der Kraan has gone for the big move up the inside of Stephen Kennedy. Might have just been a bit eager on the loud pedal. Yep. Loses the rear. Unfortunately, Crosby's in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Super unfortunate for both those drivers. Have they really put on one heck of a show tonight? As Jamie Davis gets out there, gets his burnouts as well deserved. Dylan DeBono's in the pits. Stephen Kennedy for M1 Racing is also out there takes out P3. Great show for the M1 Racing cars. The notorious Stig has said, up at Jamie Davis. Ray Douglas says, well done, Jace, my boy. I tell you what, mate, finishing up 14 spots off qualifying, mate. Jace Davis locks himself in a P4 position. Great drive. There was some big movers tonight, mate. Big movers.
Massive movers. And the movement in the championship is just as massive.
Are the points updated? I'm going to refresh.
The points have updated.
I'm refreshing
Jamie
my
Davis.
points. Go, mate. You tell us.
Jamie Davis has taken the lead of the championship by 25 points.
So we've gone from a 1-point gap to a 25-point gap between P1 and P2 in the penultimate round. Dylan DeBono, late comer to the series, has got himself...
15 points. Sorry, 15 points.
14.10 to 13.95.
Yep,
and
14 points.
Bono has got himself up into that P3. Looking for that bronze medal. 12.82 back down to Van der Kraan to 12.10. So a big change of points tonight. Tipping dropping below Jace Douglas. Jace Douglas is now P5 in the championship points. What a change here this evening for the penultimate round. If you guys have not hit that like button, I think you need to do it now, because these AMs sure put on a show this evening. We will be moving on to our podium interviews. Bear with us while we get our drivers into the green room with us here tonight. If you want to check out anything any of our sponsors can do to help you, well, their links are down in the description. We do have affiliate links with a few of them, so don't forget to use our codes at checkout for those extra discounts. Thank you all for joining us here tonight on SRW TV. And we will be getting straight on into our podium interviews, starting with P3, Stephen Kennedy of the M1 Racing team.
Thank you. What's happening?
You mean
you were in amongst it at the end, mate. That last lap heading down the hill into the chicane. What was going through your mind when you saw Peter Van der Kraan coming up your inside?
Well, I wasn't expecting to get such a bad exit on that second lap, well, up the top of the straight. So, and yeah, when he was on the outside, was he, or no, inside? Yeah, yep. I was giving him plenty of room. I think he sort of tried to get on the gas a bit too quick coming out the corner to try to beat me up the hill and turned it. So, got away with that one.
Yes, he did get away very lucky. The whole race, mate, you were up there towards the front. You had some good battles throughout the field, and you were able to keep your pace with those top three throughout the early and mid stages of the race. It's been a good turn of form for the M1 Racing team over the last weeks or so. We've had a bit of an unfortunate season so far. Obviously, Darren hasn't been able to follow up on his championship win from last season. But have you guys felt some confidence coming into this week, and with one more round to go, you're hoping to go one step better next week?
Oh yeah, always hope to sort of go one better. Like, it's been an up and down season this season. Like, I started off all right, and then had a couple of shockers in the middle, and all fault of my own for doing some silly things like just stuffing up pit stops and just not with it, and Daz has sort of had off and on. He's missed a couple of rounds around here and there, but same with myself. So I was sort of a bit worried about who I was racing tonight. Also, like for who was in the championship and for the running and that. So I didn't want to wreck anyone else's race. But the second half of that race, after the first pit stop, it sort of became a fuel saving exercise. Until the safety car came out, that second safety car, then it was all guns blazing. So it's good.
Yeah, we saw the early pit stop, and we thought, is it going to be enough to get home if they run green to the end? And we saw a couple of drivers duck into the pits early on to try and get just a couple of laps before the safety car. We saw some drivers pit, try and see if they could alternate their strategy, try and give them a little bit more time to make up some places at the end. Was that safety car one of those ones you went, do I pit or do I just stay out, use the track position rather than trying to get something back with fresh tyres like Matt Whitaker did in the end?
Yeah, as soon as I think Matt might have short-filled the first pit stop. I don't know. He sort of come out a bit further up the road, but so I think he had to pit. I had about 2.5 litres I had to save when the safety car came out, so I didn't even think about pitting because once the safety car came out, I knew I was going to make it home. So yeah.
Well done again tonight, mate. P3 here at Road Atlanta. We've got Chicago Street Course next week, which should be an absolute cracker. Have you done much racing around there in these V8 beasts?
No, not much at all. And it's one of those tracks like there's not much room to get. Well, at least on this track you got a bit of runoff, but at Chicago you hit the fence or if someone hits it in front of you, they bounce off in front of you, and it's going to be a dicey one, I think.
Yeah, it's giving me some Homebush street circuit vibes. With how close the walls will be. So I'm very much looking forward to what should be an absolutely outstanding race on a track that makes its SRW debut next week. And hopefully I'm not calling they're in the fence, they're both in the fence, they're all in the fence moment. Around that sweeping corner in the on the back half of the lap. Well done again tonight, mate. I'll give you a chance to thank all the people that keep M1 Racing running.
Okay, well, obviously, there's teammates Daz and Ty and Chris. They sort of help us practice and that. And M1 Racing up at M1 Used Car up at Slacks Creek. Daz is in charge there, so they're our sponsors. Also, thank you guys for putting this on, and also SRW team for running a good league.
Awesome. Well done again tonight, mate. Go well this week. Good luck with your practice, and we hope to see you at our championship round next week.
Thanks, Tom.
That was
P3 tonight.
Oh, you're right,
go.
mate. No,
go.
We both had to say that was go. P3 here tonight. Stephen Kennedy of M1 Racing. Solid drive from him. We are going to move on now on to our P2 driver. Could have been P1, but those are phenomenal battles up the front. But we now will move on to Dylan DeBono for Velocity Sim Labs, taking out P2 this evening.
Hey boys, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. I'm sure I'm a little bit more excited than you are after that last lap battle that you had with Jamie Davis. Looked like you might have been tempering your pace a little bit just with a fuel concern towards the end. Is that what was happening, or were you just seeing what you could do on that last lap, giving you some excitement in the comms box?
No, to be honest with you, after that safety car, the last one, I just screwed up big time. You know, it was my race to win. I had a good gap before the safety car. I had the pace, and I don't know. I just wasn't expecting the toe to be so big. And Jamie got round the outside of me, and I sort of got shuffled back a few spots. And then, you know, I passed. I think it might have been Steven, and I tried to catch Jamie. I did, but you know, I just didn't want to bid him. You know, so I just tried to send it a bit on the last lap, but I just got the grass and locked up.
Yeah, looked like a big moment heading down the hill on that final lap under brakes. It was definitely one that we saw you run. We knew both of you were going to send it as deep as you could into that corner and just a little bit too far to the right, and around goes the rear. But you managed to save it and get yourself back home in P2. You got a mega start, mate, off. You got a mega jump off the line. Was right up behind Jamie Davis all the way through that first lap. And then you managed to get that move done into the chicane. And then from there, it was one of those Dylan De Bono typical drives of just get yourself to a gap and maintain it. Was there much pace management that you did in that first stint, or was it just hell to leather and just get the pit stop when it came out and see what happens?
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely pace management. Yeah, I was hitting a number 20.7, and then with 5 laps to go, I just pushed the living hell out of the tyres, and I just tried to build the gap as much as I could, and I think it got out to 2.5. So I was pretty happy with that. And then, you know, I stuffed up the pit stop as well. I went too far in my box. That's why Jamie caught up even more. But yeah, there was a little bit of pace saving, I guess you could say, tyre saving. But yeah, I guess it just didn't work in the end. You know, I just didn't execute the safety car enough. So yeah,
the 2 safety car restarts. What goes into your head on a safety car restart? Did you think about doing, you know, the second, because it looked like you went at very similar times on both of them. Was there any thought of, as soon as I get the green flag, I'm just going to catch him napping, or was there a certain point in the racetrack that you were like, this is where they're not going to get a good run? Or was it just take it as it comes?
Yeah, there was a little bit of thought into it. When you go over the rise, the car gets really unstable. So I thought I'd go then. It worked the first time. I think got about a 1 second gap off the restart, but I think he was a bit more awake to it the second time. In hindsight, maybe I should have gone a bit earlier, but you know, P2 is not too bad at the end of the day.
P2 isn't too bad at all, mate, and you've managed to get yourself up into P3 in the championship with that result, jumping Peter van der Kraan in the process. You're still sitting, I think I did the math, about 120 points off the leaders. So P3 in the championship is still a great result. You know, I look back to Bathurst, which was probably definitely one of your low lights in the season. To be, you know, a win last week, probably one of the best wins I've seen, and then P2 tonight certainly has helped you get to a great result. So hopefully you can take that form into that final round. Give us all a show around Chicago. I'm going to have a wild guess and say you haven't done a whole lot of running around Chicago in a supercar, though.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't even bought the track yet. So, yeah, I'll buy the track during the week and get some practice in. But yeah, like going back to what you're saying about Bathurst, you know, that one really hurt, especially with it being an injury round. That, looking back at the championship now, that one hurt. So did Watkins Glen a little bit. But, you know, could have paid off, could have not, but this time it didn't. So, you know, you live, you learn, and we get it next year.
You definitely do. You've got some other series to keep your eye out on, though, with GR86s, F3s. It's as if you don't sleep, mate, with how much racing you're doing. You're sitting P3 in the 86s as well, and you're only, what's that, 67 points off Jamie Christensen in first with 2 rounds to go. So you've got a lot to play out still in SRW, but hopefully you can take a lot of form from tonight and from last week as well into these final couple of races in all the series. So good luck, mate, with those. I'll give you a chance now to thank all of your sponsors that keep Velocity Sim Labs running up near the front in your hands.
Yeah, big thanks to Doug. You know, he's a master with the setups, done his magic again tonight. Velocity Sim Labs, Original Digital Design, Here to Race YouTube. You guys for the stream, ShiBBy, my idol. SRW, and yeah, that's about it.
We're going to make a meme out of that, aren't we, Dylan? It's going to end up on some merch. It's going to be a picture of my head, and it's just going to say Dylan's Idol.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a sticker for the bumper sticker for the XL for next year.
Oh, heck yeah. Mate, if you need any pictures from any of my my streaming or any of my social media, mate, let me know. I'll help you out.
Don't worry, mate. I've got more photos than you can see of you, mate.
Yeah,
It's all on my wall.
No, I was going to say my social media is completely open. So you know, as a content creator myself, you know, we're all out there to promote ourselves. So at T1AO ShiBBy on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, if you want to check out some of the stuff I do on the off season. But, mate, great racing again, buddy, and we look forward to seeing you out here on Thursday night for the GR86.
No worries, guys. Thanks.
That was Mr. Dylan DeBono, my idol. This man can drive absolutely anything. What a great drive for the Velocity Sim Lab team. But we will now move on to P1. The Auto Serve Sim Labs driver taking out another pole position here tonight. Mr. Jamie Davis.
Jamie, mate, well done. You've managed to scrape your way through to a win. And you now have the championship lead with 15 points in hand heading into the final round. Give us your thoughts on that race, mate. You managed to get a good start, lead off lap 1. Unfortunately, Dylan DeBono just came a little bit too quick.
Thank you very much. I've got a good start. Dylan got a better one, so I just had to defend him, and then I was just way too cautious lap 1, which, cost me the 2 spots. And then, it was just playing a little bit of catch-up, but a little bit of conserve as well.
We know it was definitely a fuel race, in the middle of those stints, and in that second stint definitely was about saving fuel, given you all pitted a bit before halfway, and you still had a safety car affected pit stop. How were you looking on fuel coming into that just before the safety car came out? Were you a little bit worried, or?
As soon as I came out of pit lane, I noticed straight away I needed to save at least 6 litres, and that was just to make the finish line, not even a cool down lap. So I just instantly went into fuel conservation mode. And when the safety car was called, I had about 2.5 litres left to save just to make the finish line. So it's a bit of a blessing in disguise, the safety car, but I reckon, either way, if there was no safety car or not, the finish of the race was going to be exciting.
It definitely was, mate. Came down to that last lap battle with Dylan. That move that Dylan tried to put on to you into the chicane was very exciting indeed. How deep did you send it under brakes to try and cover off any chance of an overtake?
Well, the first one he made, I'd braked a little bit early just to try and hold him out there to see if he wanted to try the outside. Like I was able to pull off just to get the lead. That last lap I just went as deep as I could. I had the rears chirping every downshift, and then as soon as I seen him drift off into the mirror, I just focused on not to wheel spin and spin it myself.
That's was very exciting to see, mate. Off to Chicago next week for the championship round. You've got 15 points in hand. It is a sprint round, so you've got 2 races. One 20-minute race to start and then a 40-minute feature. So it's all to play for coming into that last round. Were you keeping your eye on where Matt Whitaker was throughout the race, and were you just trying to say, right, I need to be at least a position ahead. I need to take the lead into that final championship round?
Oh, that was definitely my focus going into this round. Just as long as I could just stay in front of Matt, then it should be all right. But once he had the wheel spin at the start and he was a few positions behind, I could relax a bit. But then that middle stint, I seen him coming quick, so I was just trying to guess if he had enough fuel or he was just going for that splash and dash.
Did you were you a little bit worried when he came in and had the little splash maybe trying to see, did he have enough fuel to just absolutely go hell to leather for the end? I don't think he would have taken tyres. Maybe if he did, he probably took rears, but it was certainly something that we were questioning in the comms box. Does he have enough time to be able to get through? He didn't in the end, but he got close.
When I seen he pitted, I thought, he has to take tyres. It'd be no-brainer to take tyres and then just try and storm through the field, get as close up to the front as he could. So once I was able to get in front of De Bono and Vanderkran got him as well, I just tried to pull the gap because I knew De Bono's car was a lot better on the tyres, so I knew he'd come at me at the end. So I was just really focusing on just create that gap, and then if he got me, I was happy with P2 at the end of the day as well.
All right, mate. Well, well done again tonight. You're coming away with a championship lead, 15 points in hand. I think that works out to be about 3 spots. On average, about 3 spots for next race. So that's what you've got to work with. We'll crunch the numbers in the week, and I will provide you all something to amp you up, ready to go for next Tuesday. I'll give you a chance here now to thank all of your sponsors, mate.
Thank you very much to AutoServe, all the boys in the team that are watching me every week, wins as well. All my supporters that tune into the stream and tune in through my live stream through Discord to watch my point of view. Commentators, series organisers, all the competitors. Just there's such an awesome series, and loving every lap of it.
Awesome. I would be loving every lap of it too if I had the pace that you had and was up near the front every week. I'd probably be down further towards the back. If Steve Sinkovich was racing, I'd be down with him. So that's my skill in these supercars. But
I'd still be doing burnouts down the straight.
When I watch the races back, down in the field, that looks just as fun as just trying to go as quick as you can at the front.
Yeah, I may or may not be joining the grid next season. We'll wait and see on that. But well done again tonight, mate. Race win, taking the championship lead with that as well. So well done again. Good luck for next week. We look forward to seeing how you go.
Thank you very much. And what a good round for the finale at Chicago. Definitely not a track to play it safe on with all those blind corners. Should be ripper.
Awesome, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
That was Jamie Davis for the AutoServe Sim Racing team. And that was your penultimate round here for Season 4 in 2023. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools of your Simrigs V8 Supercars AM Series. It has come down to the wire. Jamie Davis has taken that championship points lead by 15 points. And we will find out next week, same time, same bat channel here on SRW TV. I have been Nathan ShiBBy Howard, the man, the guy with all the stats and the numbers. In the comms box next to me has been Thomas Preach Riley. And we're going to end this broadcast by saying stay safe and race hard.